Time for another episode of Pottawattamie County Roots. Hi, I'm Toddd Studer. Hope your Monday has started off very well. I know that mine has. We have a couple of guests coming into the studio today. We are going to talk with Stephanie Kenealy and also Jayme Busch from Primrose Retirement Community. Learn a little bit more about what it is that they do. Stephanie is the executive director there, and she is going to talk more about everything of her philosophy and why it is that she's feels that this is really her calling, and talks about her background and also about Jayme Busch being fairly new there, but she is just off and running, and mentions, you'll hear her talk about it, that she said it already doesn't feel like work. So that is our guest today. We have Stephanie Kenealy and also Jayme Busch from Primrose Retirement Community joining us on Pottawattamie County Roots, which are brought to you by the good folks at Marnie Elkhorn Communications, your local communications provider, serving Marnie, Elkhorn, Walnut, Avoca, and other Southwest Iowa towns with high-speed fiber internet, reliable phone service, and TV options built for rural living. With real local support and unlimited data plans, you get speeds up to 1 gig to work, stream, and stay in touch with family and neighbors. Visit matc.net to learn more and get connected. Families and cemeteries across the region turn to Solid Ground Monument Company for skilled restoration that protects every story etched in stone. Now scheduling springtime services. The company provides monument repair, gentle cleaning, full reconstruction, and complete cemetery restoration. For families needing a new memorial, Solid Ground Monument Company comes to you in your time of need to design a tribute that truly honors your loved one. It's Southwest Iowa's trusted cemetery restoration and monument service. Solid Ground Monument Company, preserving legacies with care and craftsmanship. And be sure to start the day off at Brewed Awakening in Avoca. They're open every Monday through Saturday, always serving something fresh. Enjoy bagels daily, weekly specials that you won't find on the menu, and warm seasonal soups every Tuesday and Wednesday. Then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, grab a hot breakfast sandwich. Treat yourself to something sweet every Friday. Or if you're hosting a meeting or gathering, Brewed Awakening has a private room ready for your group. Free to use if you don't need it all to yourself. Stop in for great coffee, good food, and a friendly hometown atmosphere at Brewed Awakening in Avoca. In the studios on Willow, this is Stephanie Kenealy, and she is the executive director at Primrose Retirement Community.
Primrose Retirement Community.
That was a little bit of dyslexia, I think, reversing it there. But thanks for coming over.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your position. What is your day-to-day like?
Well, every day is very different from day to day, just depending on what challenges come their way and what amazing things can happen. I told Jayme when she started, I said every day, every hour is going to look totally different, and it changes all the time. But my job varies from just making sure that the community is a safe place for our residents to be, and making sure that our staff are equipped with the tools that they need to help our residents be safe. So I guess on a technical term, it'd be operations for sure. But on an untechnical term, I would say that I get to love on 75 grandma and grandpas.
That's fair. That's fair. I think that you've got a lot of experience and a lot of lived life going on underneath one roof. And I'm a believer that a place kind of takes on an energy of the people that are around it, and you can feel it. That's why, I can go into some place and I remember back when I was a sportscaster, I'd go to the state volleyball tournament. No teams were in there, and I'd walk in there and the hairs on my arms would stand up just because of that. Same kind of deal with this. You've got a lot of experience to draw from in there. I'm assuming you learn quite a bit every day.
Every day I learn something new, not just about the residents, but how to better their day. But you hit it right on the nail. People will call and they'll say, hey, I'm looking for somewhere for my mom. And I'll say, I can tell you everything about my community, but until you step foot in my community and feel the energy and the atmosphere and take a big breath, because it's like walking into your grandma's home. It smells good. It smells like fresh food, and the atmosphere, there are people walking around, there are people laughing, there are always multiple things going on throughout the building. And even in the more quiet times, I would almost say somber times. You can feel the compassion. You can feel the energy the moment you walk into the building. And it's something that our residents talk about a lot, about how comfortable they are, how this is their home, how good the staff make the atmosphere as well. Because something that I talk about a lot in our personal training in our community is just don't forget that we're working in their home. This is their home first. And we just have the blessing to be here and make it the best that we can. And I think when we create that energy and that environment, they're able to feel and absorb it the moment they walk in the door. And again, people will call and ask 100 questions. Am I making the right decision? What does it look like? Tell me what this looks like. And I'm like, you have to come feel it. You have to come submerge yourself, come join us for a meal, come sit in fellowship with my residents who will tell you this is home. And so I think absolutely you hit it right on the nail. Energy and the atmosphere is honestly one of the things that makes my building really special.
You bring up a really good point. Something that I hadn't thought of before is that, yeah, you've got a lot of staff that's working there, but you have created a home for people, and that needs to be respected. I never thought of it that way before, but then again, I don't work in your field, so
Absolutely.
But I think that that's great, and it's a perfect way to present it to anyone that's coming to join the staff there.
Absolutely. I had a young kid walk into my building the other day, and he sat down on these beautiful floral chairs, and he reached over and grabbed the strawberry candies in the dish. And he was like, my grandma always had these candies. I really do feel like I walk into my grandma's home every day. It's so comfy and cozy, and the atmosphere is just good, like you said.
All right, let's put you on the spot here for a second, because as everybody knows, I don't do pre-interviews. We don't really know what direction we're going to go. Is there something about what it is that you do that has surprised you that you didn't know going in? That, hey, this is something that I wasn't aware would be part of the job description, but now that I'm here, I can really see it.
Absolutely. So you didn't ask this directly, but I'll give you a little bit of history.
Sure.
So I didn't think that this is where my life was going to take me. I really didn't. And I thought I was going to be an educator. I thought that kids and youth ministry and developing the youth of Council Bluffs was going to be my calling. And what started as just a trickle into the community turned into something very beautiful really quickly. And so my first experiences within the community were just coming and teaching art classes, paint classes, sip and paints. And here I have 15 80-year-old women drinking wine and laughing and enjoying every moment of it. And I felt that change and the shift that I was able to bring to that event. And it was almost intoxicating. It was serving. I was able to serve others through my blessings and my talents. And so I just thought, this is so fun. I want more of this. And so the executive director at the time encouraged me to become part of the staff. And so I started in activities, is where I started in this community here in Council Bluffs. And it was during COVID, and a lot of communities were closing their doors, and they were not doing activities. They were not doing things in the dining room. They were separating everybody. And Primrose took such a careful and safe but special approach to COVID. And we left it up to the residents. And yeah, we took lots of precautions and had to wear masks, but we didn't keep anybody from seeing their loved ones. And we didn't, make them feel secluded. We got really creative. And so I got to do activities during that time. And the world was in crisis, and we were playing hall bingo. Like, we just found ways to have fun. And every day was this new challenge of different information being thrown at us in different directions. And keep in mind, I was still employed with the school. I thought that the school district was but there was no school. So I got to just take on this mini adventure temporarily. And it was Christmas, and we were coming from a big Christmas party that I threw, and I was walking somebody back up to their apartment, and she turned around and she called our attention back, and I came back and she said, "You are the reason I got up this morning." And that was this aha moment for me that God had placed me right where I needed to be at that time, and that I needed to listen. And so I put in my notice at the school, the place that I had been for 11 years and poured my heart and soul into the community. And I put in my notice and I said, this is where I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm being asked to do right now. And I jumped full feet in and just submerged myself in everything that made that community special. And we threw random parties because it was Tuesday, and we had so much fun, and I built so many amazing relationships. And I was noticing that there were other parts in the community that I could maybe make a difference. And I'm super talkative and a lot of fun. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to hone in on that, and I'm going to go take this out other places. And I want to represent Primrose to everyone. And I want to tell everyone what amazing things are happening in this building. So I took on a marketing position, and I had so much fun. I got to meet rural communities. I got to meet so many amazing people and tell them what made Primrose special, and they became residents. And in that time, I thought, I can do this even bigger. I could do more. And so I decided to take a regional position. So I went and worked for home office for a while. And I got to see really quickly that Council Bluffs is so special, and Primrose Council Bluffs is so special. And I would say a lot of times in my head, oh, in Council Bluffs, we would do this. And that was really special. And it made me realize how special Council Bluffs really was, and how special that building was, and how personal that building was. Now, in that time of being activities and marketing, my grandma lived at Primrose. So then I got to learn Primrose from a totally different perspective as the loved one. And I got to see what personalized care could look like, and how they loved on her and were able to take care of her right where she was at, regardless of the day-to-day shift that she might have had. And I got to learn and respect Primrose for a different reason. And unfortunately, my grandma isn't at Primrose anymore, but she still talks about it to this day. And I got to experience it from a different direction. And again, it's what made me so passionate about Council Bluffs Primrose. And when the opportunity arose for me to come back to Council Bluffs, I didn't skip a beat. I had a great mentor at the time, and I jumped on the chance to come back to Council Bluffs. And now each day comes with challenges as our lives change day to day. But it's amazing at the end of all of it to sit back and say, this is right where I'm supposed to be. Little things like cards and chocolates and hugs. And when a family member comes to me and gives me the biggest hug, we just transitioned a resident from our independent living to our assisted living, because she said, you know what, I just need more help. And her daughters just hugged and hugged. I think she probably hugged me 5 times before she left my office. And she said, thank you so much for loving my mom and being part of our family. And not every day is that mushy gushy and amazing. I wish it was, but it resets me right in my center of I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm serving who I'm supposed to serve. And Primrose is such a special place. So I hope that answered your question in a long way. But my journey with Primrose has been long and adventurous.
What you're doing is reminding me of a lot of things, because I think my grandmother was about 90. In an independent living facility up in central Iowa. And somebody came in, same role that you had, was teaching painting. And my grandmother decided that this was something that she wanted to do. So somebody, as I said, somebody in your position came in, cared enough to do that. My grandmother, in just over 2 months, turns 100. She has done over 4,000 paintings.
Wow.
Because this is what she does to keep her mind active, to gives her a sense of purpose. And we all have a lot of them. And everybody in town has a lot of her paintings. They're in the library, they're everywhere. And that was because someone in your position came in and did that. These things matter.
Absolutely.
And so that's why when you talk about what Primrose is and what how you're serving people in the area, some that spent their lives in Council Bluffs, some that have spent their lives in Glenwood, some that have spent their lives in a lot of different areas, it feeds my soul. And this is the type of thing this is the kind of community that I want to be involved with, because, from the young people in the schools to folks that are retiring and even getting into the 80s and 90s, giving a high quality of life. So thank you for that. And
Absolutely.
thanks for bringing that up in my mind. It was, it was really nice to
Absolutely.
sit here and be able to think about that as you're telling me your own experience with that.
Absolutely. I have the opportunity a lot to talk about kind of what I call a circle of service. And just because my own journey has kind of brought me in this place that I get an opportunity to talk a lot to this demographic. And for me personally, I see this circle of service, and we're asked to serve others for so long. And a lot of my residents have done that. They've served others. They've blue collar. They've worked hard their whole lives. A lot of farmers' wives, a lot of farmers, truck drivers, mailmen. They've worked really hard their whole life, and they've served others and their kids. And eventually in this circle of service, it comes back around that we need more help, and somebody else is being asked to serve. And accepting that help sometimes is difficult.
Yeah, it is.
It is very difficult. I hear a lot, there's no way, I'm not doing that. I don't need help. And I'm like, but you do. And don't take that from me, because I've been asked to help you. I'm here to help you. Let's talk about what this is going to look like. And so talking about this circle of service with people sometimes helps them realize that it doesn't make you less. You still have something to give to this world. You still have purpose. I love that you said purpose. We try to find everybody's purpose when they walk into our building. All the way down from napkin ladies that we call them, that roll the silverware, and a gentleman that loves taking the initiative of being in charge of the theater. And each individual in our community has some sense of purpose. They have something that makes them special in our community, something that they add. And again, it's just part of that circle of service. They still want to serve other people in some capacity, but I tell them sometimes when people are being ornery and don't want help, I say, let me help you, because I've been asked to help you, and it's my turn to serve. And sometimes that opens their eyes a little bit to, hey, I need help. I do need help, but I still have some sort of purpose in some capacity, and I can still serve others. It's just going to look different. So purpose and dignity, and those are words that just float around my community a lot.
It's tough that to be willing to take a step back and say that the responsibility and the purpose that I used to have has shifted, and it's time to walk through a different door and see what life has at this point. So yet I seem to, every time I'm talking to somebody new, it seems like it pops into my head, you got to be part therapist to do your job. And this is another example.
Absolutely.
But not in a negative way, though.
No.
It's just that meeting people where they are.
Absolutely.
And understanding that, this is going to be a big life change for someone leaving a home they could have been in for decades.
Absolutely.
And now coming to a community and having things done for them in a way that they're not used to. And
Absolutely.
so approaching that with a sense of dignity, well done. You're doing great.
Absolutely. Thank you. Sometimes we call it a season too. Like, this is just a season, and now we're going to start a new season.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like to call it a season, because sometimes, you can't go around a season. You have to go through it. And if we call it right out as what it is, we're able to get through it a little bit better. We can't avoid some things. And so one season to the next, we're just going to transition. And you're right. I think some days I end up being more of a therapist than an operations manager. But, and that can be in a lot of different capacities. This is such a sensitive time too. We're not just talking to our residents. I'm talking to their loved ones and their loved ones' loved ones. And it's emotional for the adult child too. Your roles somehow really quickly change, and they feel a lot of feelings at that time. Initially, sometimes it's guilt, or it's sadness. And I love seeing this beautiful thing happen in our community, both with the loved ones and with the people that live in my community. They almost blossom. So the daughter gets to become a daughter again, and the mom gets to become the mom again. And it's really beautiful. And it's something that I wish I didn't have to say, but I wish that people would realize sooner, is that you don't have to wait so long, and that you can be the daughter again. And I don't just have to show up for my resident, but I also have to show up for their family emotionally. It can be emotional. All those things happening at once. The guilt is probably the biggest one at first. And then again, they just seem to just relax, and they're just it goes from guilt to grateful really quick. And it allows them to experience their parent from a different dynamic. So not only do I feel like a therapist sometimes for my residents, but also their loved ones who are making some challenging decisions for their parents sometimes. So,
well, let me give you an opportunity now to give your Primrose pitch. And here's why you should consider us as an opportunity for your parents' next home, or maybe it is that parent themselves that could be looking. So I want to hear, just give me the brightest spotlight that you can put on Primrose.
The best Primrose pitch. Well, honestly, in full transparency, because I made that choice, and it was the best choice that I could have helped my husband's family make. And again, it wasn't my personal grandma, it was my husband's grandma, but I was so happy that we did it. And if I could give the best Primrose pitch, it would be that I had the best experience. And I think that senior living as a whole entity kind of got a bad rap for a while. And everybody kind of clumps senior living as one, and we're not the same. And Primrose really does have something special. We're able to keep someone safe longer so that they're able to maintain their independence longer. And so if I had a takeaway for anybody, it would be that we could potentially help your loved one live better and live longer. And that's by a safe environment. And not only is their physical important, but their mental health is important. The fellowship and the camaraderie and the experiences at Primrose is very different than any other building in Council Bluffs. Not only do we offer a few different things, but I think senior living as a whole has kind of a bad rap sometimes. They clump us all together, and assisted living and independent living can be so beautiful. And I always tell people too, if Primrose really isn't the place for you, I promise you that we will be there every step of the way in helping you navigate something that is appropriate for you. So to answer your question, I hope that you choose Primrose, because I did, and I thought it was an amazing experience. And I thank you. Thank you for letting me have that little pitch there.
Well,
that one caught me off guard a little bit.
Well, that's something that no one can take, is your own personal experience.
Absolutely.
You can't argue with that.
No, you cannot.
That belongs to you. So there is no coming off of that and somebody disagreeing. Well, yeah, you didn't experience that. Yeah, I did.
I did.
and that's regardless of life, anything in life. I mean, your own personal experience belongs to you, and the way that you can tie that in, I think, is well done. Again, you're doing yeoman's work, and I'm grateful that you came over to talk a little bit about it today.
Thank you.
Of course, welcome here anytime.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was a good time.
Jayme Busch back in studio, only in a different capacity.
Very different.
This is kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you. I remember when you called and told me that, hey, I just took a position at Primrose, and I said, good on you, good job, because I thought it was a good fit. And the longer that you're there,
the more sure I am of that. And it seems like the more sure you are of that.
Absolutely. It's been a good short journey so far.
Just so far.
Yep.
So, talk a little bit about what it is that you do with the Primrose Retirement Community.
I'm learning all the things that I'm still doing, but mostly I'm helping outward-facing potential new residents come to Primrose and navigate, as Steph said, their next season of life, or their loved ones, or all of them. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, just kind of fits in, I think, with your personality. And I think that I've seen, excuse me, you kind of a different side coming out.
Of me?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
No,
you're not wrong.
No, I see that because, as we move from one position to another, those types of things just kind of, they kind of hit us in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing you didn't fully understand everything about it before you got started.
No.
And it's still learning more about yourself at the same time.
I think that is probably the biggest thing, as our relationship has blossomed over the last 2-ish years about, right?
Mhm.
I'm finding a whole nother person of myself, in all good ways. I have a lot more time that I didn't have previously. And all these people that are there, my staff, our residents, are becoming family very quickly, even to my kiddos, when we're stopping very briefly. Sunday, my oldest Addie wanted to stop and see one of our residents because she called bingo with him last week. Right. And she's
I could
like,
see your daughter doing that.
I need to go see him. Can we go see him? It's almost dinner time. I know he's going to be down there. And so we stopped real quick after a nail appointment just for her to go say hi. And I know that made his day, and it made Addie's night, So it's a whole nother side of anything that I've ever done. And I'm really enjoying every bit of it. And it's really just bringing out the best in me, because I was getting to a point where I was lower than I would have liked to be. Mm-hmm. And I think you and Kyle and other people that were still in my same circle in my previous position were kind of seeing those things as well. And so I feel like a brand new person, and I love everything about it and everything I'm doing.
Well, and for the most part, the residents there are Southwest Iowa folks.
They are.
And you have, once upon a time, you were over there in the Omaha side, but you came to the light.
I got forced to the light, but now
still,
I'm here.
Now you're here. Now, I mean, you're a small business owner. You are as entrenched in the area as a person can be. Mm-hmm. So now you are working in a place that has a different segment of residents that maybe you hadn't spent as much time with before, but these are still good Southwest Iowa folks, and you get a whole new side of things.
I love that too. You're right. It is very different. I have a family member that works in the same industry, and I've heard the stories and chatted and all different things, talked with Steph about, different things, and now witnessing it and going through it myself, even with my family, it is very eye-opening, even for like, what am I going to do however many years down the road, mm-hmm. things that I never thought about as we're looking, for my grandmother, for, potentially my dad at some point, or my mom, or any loved one, or my husband's parents, so even just looking at those things and seeing this is what we have to offer that maybe others don't have to offer, or how specialized ours is. I think that's probably the most eye-opening for me, is just seeing that every single resident in our community has something different to offer, and then we have something to offer them too.
Yeah, it sounds like as you're looking at some of the different residents or potential residents that you talk to, you're seeing family mm-hmm. that this could be an option for them at one time, and that it's going to be a positive place mm-hmm. To be able to do that. So being able to make that connection, I think, is actually kind of cool.
It is. And meeting all of these people coming in too, whether they choose our community or not, I have some sort of relationship with them because we're still checking in. Hey, how's mom at such and such? Or how's dad, or hey, they're calling back saying, hey, we need to move somebody really fast. How quick can we get them there? So that's really neat too, just building those relationships. You know how much I enjoy that with anyone.
Yeah.
So that's really just, it doesn't feel like a job. And I think that's the most important for me in my season of life right now, with my littles and all the other things. So I enjoy all of it.
Well, you touched on that too about relationships, that you hear me preach about it all the time. That if you're going to be with a company or a business in a small town, and Council Bluffs is a small town, I don't care that there's 64,000 people, it's a small town, and the rest of the communities around the county are even smaller than that, but they all behave the same way.
Right.
And relationships are the number one component of it. And if you're trying to fake that, I don't know of anybody in this county that can't sniff that out.
Right.
So you need to come at it from a place of honesty and being genuine.
Yeah, I think that as you talked about where we have everyone, I'm finding more and more too that Primrose, while we do have many from Council Bluffs, we have more from our rural areas. Even just going to the Neola Community Center where I live, and we go in there once a month and chatting with those residents, just building relationships and enjoying dinner or lunch, depends on what you call it, and pie, or playing a game or things like that. And that's another part that I just didn't realize, that I just assumed everybody was probably from Council Bluffs, but we have a lot, as Steph said, a lot of farm wives, a lot of farmers, a lot of just rural population. And that's a lot of fun too, because making those connections of, I know you from where are you? I'm in Neola. You're in Neola. Like just making those relationships too, and them seeing a completely different side of me as well has been really interesting and fun.
What kind of pie?
Cherry pie.
There you go.
The best kind. Addie would tell you apple.
It depends. I'm a fruit pie guy, and I got that from my grandfather. But yeah, I don't care. I'll eat gooseberry pie. I don't care.
Addie would tell you apple because she could make that gluten-free, all the free apple pies. We still got to get one. I'll bring you one.
Yeah, that would be great. But didn't she do the big pie auction at the fair?
For 4-H.
For 4-H, yeah, I know that was a huge deal. So
Her pie went this year for $700. Yep. Gluten-free, dairy-free, corn-free, oat-free apple pie. But it's actually really good.
Was that a bag of apples? Is that
right? We worked a lot of time on that recipe. So actually, we said we were going to do something like that at Primrose and try to make it, because some people were talking about that with Addie. So we might have to do that.
I just thought about it. That'd be a fun thing to do for
pie bake-off.
Yeah, well, or just putting together a Primrose cookbook with some of the different folks around there with their recipes. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I got one. I talked about my grandmother when I was we were visiting with Stephanie, and she put together a scrapbook that had all the old family recipes in it, and I tried to make her ham balls, and
they weren't the same.
Good Lord, no, not even close.
That's one thing that our chef does, and our staff, they will give recipes. Our residents will give recipes and ask, something. What do you like? What do you just last
cool.
week they made some like cornflake cookies that somebody had. Also for their birthdays, they get to choose what they want for their lunch for their birthday, and all the residents get that. And so that's the same with their dessert, and a lot of them give recipes for that. And I think that's really cool, because that's your tradition. That's something that you've probably done all those years, and so we try to keep that going as well. And so yeah, those recipes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. My other grandmother used to make this thing called mock apple pie. You ever have that?
No.
Yeah, it's not apples. It's Ritz crackers.
Oh,
and
that's why it was mock.
Yeah, and I never saw the point to it, but she loved it. So
Yeah.
That's I'm just trying to imagine that going out to everybody, and probably a lot of the residents there probably are familiar.
Oh yeah.
With what that particular thing is, but that's old.
We should do that.
depression here.
I'm gonna talk with Steph about that and see. Then you have to come promote it.
Yeah, I'm gonna come do an old fashioned radio remote on mock apple pie
There
at
you go.
Primrose Retirement Community. That would be a hoot. So, for people that want to learn a little bit more about Primrose and they're contacting you and coming in, they set up a meeting. Is that how it works, or what's the
Absolutely.
process?
Yep. They can come in anytime. Prefer that they call, but that's okay. You can call, get on the website, email me. Most people know where to find me, whether it's Primrose or on Facebook or anywhere else. So, but yep. And we can set an appointment, set up a tour, come have a meal with us, and see what Primrose is all about.
I think that's the best way to do it is get the full experience.
hmm
And part of that is going to be some of the day-to-day stuff.
Yep.
A meal's one of those things.
Yep. And it's not necessarily a meal with me. It's usually, I mean, if they want, but our residents can say it best and let you know all the good things. And so it's it's really cool
Yeah.
to see that blossom as well.
Yeah, and
It's almost lunchtime.
All this talk about food. Yeah, I'm just I'm sweating it over here. But Jayme, thanks for coming back, and congratulations on I knew that you were going to be successful in whatever direction you went, and you found the right place.
Thanks.
And it's good to see that everything is going well.
Thank you.
All right, so come back soon.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right,
See you
excellent.
soon.
HR Helix delivers fractional HR leadership and strategic people solutions for professional firms across our region, including here in Southwest Iowa, founded by Amy Luckenbill. HR Helix helps growing organizations that have outgrown the do-it-yourself HR, but you're not ready yet for a full-time executive. From compliance and culture to performance and structure, HR Helix turns complex HR challenges into clear, confident action. Their approach is simple, old school smart, next gen savvy. So if your business is ready for better systems, stronger teams, and leadership support that fits, visit hrhelix.com. And when emergencies happen, confidence saves lives, and Ready Responders 130 provides professional CPR training for individuals, businesses, and community groups, so you know exactly what to do when it matters most. With flexible scheduling, up-to-date information, and dedicated instructors, you get hands-on skills that prepare you for real-world situations. At work, at home, or out in the community, Ready Responders 130 gives you the tools to act fast and act smart. So be prepared and be confident. Visit ReadyResponders130.com. Well, vacation's over. Time to get back to work, and I am looking forward to having a very successful week. My name's Toddd Studer. Have a great Monday.